Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and a new episode of Things You Didn't Know in Baldurs Gate 3. Today I have some interesting finds recently in the community alongside more interesting details commented by you guys, but let's just get straight to it. To begin the episode, I wanted to start with a very cool tip that seems to have been patched. So I'm going to talk about how it was a thing, but you know, maybe this will be a PSA to the people that are still trying this. In short, you can summon followers, such as this air one here, and these ones come with their own weapons like the Flail of Vortex, which comes with lightning damage as a blunt weapon, has its own weapon action, Electrified Flail. You smack a foe and you might stun them, and also it comes with tenacity. So basically, it's not a great weapon, but it's not a bad weapon. It also has gold value. You used to be able to actually open a elemental's inventory, which I can't do manually anymore, by using this trick. So let's say someone summons it, right? They open up their inventory, move it out of the way, and then click on the icon of the summon. That would open that summon's inventory. Let me show you a video of this happening. This video was posted by Jamie Huff and was just a quick showcase of how this works. As you can see, they have their summon, they open their own inventory, move the screen out of the way, then click on the summon, and now we have a summon with an inventory. Normally you can't drop a weapon on the ground because they didn't want you to be able to do this, but if you put that weapon into the summon's inventory, then drag it to the ground, it would work and you could get access to these weapons. Neat because they have value and you could sell them or potentially use them, but they weren't crazy. But there was a Reddit post about this and how actually the skeleton summon bow was actually a really good option, particularly good in the early game and quite competitive, so it was a neat trick to be able to use. It seems in the very recent patch that basically just happened as I record this, patch number 5, they fixed this, which was just before I went to make this video. Really unlucky timing for me. Still, it is interesting to know that you could do that, and it's a shame that I couldn't include that as a tip you can do still. But now we know that they fixed it. Speaking of sad things that have changed in the patch, there is another thing that is no longer in the game that was quite a popular way to dupe weapons, and it's standing behind me. This is the statue of the true hero of Baldurs Gate, which if you go to the circus in the start of Act 3, you can go meet this little stony character and spend 5,000 gold to get yourself your own statue. What's interesting is it will duplicate you at that time, whatever gear you're wearing, including whatever weapons you're wearing. For example, this one's wearing the single sword or blade that I wanted to duplicate, but now as of the newest patch, the statue has the passive feature of permanently armed, meaning this cannot be disarmed by any method. So the old method, which would have you say use command, you pick drop and target the target, but now as you can see, it has permanently armed. This is something I was hoping to include in a video because I had it in my back pocket for weeks now, and apparently I should have shown it sooner. The devs apparently learned of it and have fixed it, so I guess this is more of a PSA than hey, you can do this. That's a shame because truly, I don't think it's terrible to be able to do one thing per playthrough. Considering some of the crazy things we can do in this game, yeah, I didn't think it would get fixed. But there you go, it's gone from the game. Here's a follow-up for the command idea, and specifically the drop version of that spell. There is that big challenge in the opening of the game with the Devil Commander. When you're on the Nautiloid ship and you make it your way to the final room, you're basically told, go press the button, use the teleporter thing, get us out of here. You can, of course, choose to fight the Devil Commander because he has that flaming sword, and if you kill him, you can take it. It's a green sword, sure, but it's a good one for Act 2 because it's permanently on fire and has fire damage. Certainly a nice early option. But if you're doing this on Tactician, that's a tough fight, to say the least. Certainly possible, but not easy. It will take you some time, even if you know what you're doing. But this tip comes from Cad Milos in the comments, who explained that Shadowheart actually comes with command, which you might not have right at the start of a playthrough yourself. So if you get Shadowheart to join you by going and saving her and then having her join you, you can then pull up her spell menu and swap out a spell to slot in command, which she actually does have. It's just not initially prepared as a spell. Then, naturally, instead of fighting the jerk, which can be long, you can just cast command drop on him until it works. And the moment it does, snag the weapon from the ground, and boom, you've now got his fire greatsword without all that struggle and effort, which is certainly going to be good for the early game. Alright, so next up, here's a silly one. Just a bit of a bug that's been highlighted or found in the last couple of days that I assume might be tied to the PlayStation version. This was found by a Tumblr user, actually. Yes, that website still exists. It popped up on Twitter for me, someone sourced where it came from, so I really appreciated that, so I can say that it came from Neo Devilsman, the Tumblr user. They posted this very silly video of their Asterion going up and down an elevator, which is normal, right? But when they're activating the elevator and going up and down, they're opening their character inventory where you can see the character standing there. But that character in the inventory screen is also taking the physical effect of the elevator, just going up and down and zipping out of existence basically, which is obviously clearly intended and working as normal. But I do actually love that it kind of is. Like, it's going up and down, and the character in the inventory screen's also going up and down in relation to the elevator that's actually happening. Obviously, what's happening is that animation's playing on that screen when it shouldn't, but it's great. And I kind of hope they leave it in, because it's not like it's causing any harm. It's just a bit of fun. It's always interesting to see weird game interactions like that. So if you guys know of other stuff like that, do let me know. Next up, we have a brand new discovery in the community, which is quite interesting. It's to do with Gale himself here, and something he can do in Act 2 that I completely missed, and the chances are you completely missed too, because you weren't playing as Gale. Maybe you brought him in your party, but of course when you do character creator you can pick one of the origin characters, and one of them is Gale, and therefore you will play as Gale through the story. Yes, there are things in the game that you can only experience as that unique origin character when you are playing that character as your main. This little post from Zeus_403 is asking, how and why do I have a shadow spell slot? They couldn't seem to tell what's going on here. So let's open the image and take a look. As you can see, they have a replenishable resource that is the shadow spell slot level 3, which recharges once per long rest. This is just ultimately a spell slot level 3. And as you can see in the image, they've clicked on it to see what's castable, and they can just see spells that are below level 3 and up to level 3 like normal. How has this happened? Well, as we saw in the comments, we can see that consuming the Shadow Weave is done in Act 2, but you can see that other people didn't get the same result. By defeating one of the 4 main kind of bosses in Act 2 in the Cursed Shadowlands area with the last name of Thorm, you can then consume their Shadow Weave using Gale by playing him as the origin character. This then nets you that permanent level 3 spell slot for the rest of the playthrough, obviously recovering with the rest of the spell slots on long rests. What's so interesting about this to me is the fact that, yeah, these comments we looked at on this Reddit are from, over a month ago, and it's only now that people have gone, hang on, wait, what does that mean, and looked into it, and now it's actually being talked about this week. It goes to show, like, what else is out there in terms of playing origin characters, what unique interactions are there. If you guys know anything about unique interactions like this based on playing origin characters and playthroughs, let us know. Finally, a quick tip to do with the deluxe edition item, the Mask of the Shapeshifter. As we should all know, that helm provides nothing but one singular spell that you can use by wearing it, which is the ability to shapeshift. Useful when you want to swap to a race suited to different situations, or maybe turn yourself into a smaller race to fit for a gap, that type of thing. However, Josh let me know that there's an item in game that you can combine with this helm. It's the ring, the Shapeshifter's Boon Ring, which you can get by taking it from the strange ox you find in the Emerald Grove all the way in Act 1. Though that ox shows up at various sections in the game, can actually have some story stuff to do with him. But if you do kill it and take the ring, you'll have a +4 bonus to all checks. Yeah, all checks when in your shapeshifted form and have the ring equipped. Quite the trick to pass through, say, conversational checks in a playthrough, like having, say, an extra guidance as early as Act 1. This should work with shapeshifting spells in general though, not just the helm, but obviously the helm's a great way to get that effect, especially early as Act 1. But there you have it, another episode of things you didn't know in Baldurs Gate 3. I hope this was useful or interesting to you as always. It is funny how many things there are that I just didn't know about in this game, and it just never seems to stop. On that note, if you guys have found or seen anything unique or strange or useful, something you think people should know, then drop it in the comments and we might just feature it. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thank you for watching, we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.